Welcome back, guys, so let's play Trails in the Sky. Last time, we completed the Bracer training test. Today we're gonna go around Roland bragging about becoming Bracers. Hi there, Estelle and Joshua. Oh, hi, Rich. It looks like your training is over, isn't it? I'm humbled to know that you two are the youngest ever to pass the Bracer exam. I look forward to working with you in the same capacity. Ourselves as well. I have to get back to work now, but if there's something you don't understand, give me a holler. I have to get back to... Okay. Congratulations! You two are now official members of the Bracer Guild. From now on, I'm going to be passing out jobs to you like candy. Bring it on is all I have to say. I look forward to working with the guild. I hope you'll work hard for the guild. Hurry up and come on! Wait for me, Luke! Huh? Oh, it's you two! Oh great, it's Estelle. Hi there, Joshua. Okay, you little dwarf. What's with the "oh great, it's Estelle" remark? And what's the big hurry? How about telling us where you're headed? You're not thinking about wandering out of town alone, are you? The roads are full of monsters, I hope you know. You're such a pest, Estelle. Don't you know there's no room for girls to be sticking their big fat noses in boys' business? Quit acting like you're a bracer you want to be. How wrong you are, Luke. How incredibly wrong. You're more wrong than a fool who thinks there's better tasting milk in the world than the milk that comes from the Purzel farm. What? No way. You're full of it, Estelle. In fact, as of just a few minutes ago, we qualified to become real bracers. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Real bracers! More like bracers in training, really. Don't think you should be getting on your high horse just yet, Estelle. Now, a high pony, on the other hand. Quit being a killjoy. Wow, you two are great. I'm so happy for the both of you. Oh, Pat, you're such a good little boy. I'm like that smart aleck and cynical brat you call a friend. This isn't fair. I was supposed to become a bracer first. I can accept that Joshua became a bracer for me, but getting passed by the likes of Estelle? What's the likes of Estelle supposed to mean? Just so you know, you can't even be a bracer until you're 16 years old. Get it? Only mature people allowed. And that means no little kids who are still going to Sunday school. I don't know how I should put this, Estelle, but Sunday school is dying to have you back. You better watch out, Estelle. I'm going to train at my secret base, and before you know it, I'm going to be a bracer too. Come on, Pat, let's go. Alright, I'm coming. See you later, Estelle. Bye, Joshua. That boy, Luke, he's always trying to pick a fight with me. I wonder if he just plain hates me or something. Rather, I think it's the exact opposite. What do you mean by that? Don't worry about it. It's just a boy thing. At any rate, what do you think Luke meant when he said secret base? I don't know why, but somehow it makes me a bit curious. I know exactly what you mean. A secret base sounds really intriguing. The pure heart of a young child can be so inspiring at times. That's not really what I meant by curious. Shit, sorry. And I open another file. Hey, you're doing good work so far. Ah, what's that emblem on your chest? Congratulations, you two, so you finally become bracers, huh? Thanks. Estelle, you are way too proud of yourself. Why do you always have to ruin the moment, Joshua? I should be this happy because I earned it. You should at least let me bask in the glory for a minute. Sometimes you can just be so... But Estelle, now that you've become a bracer, you're going to have to get over your little problem with orbital arts. Man, you two, why do you have to go and spoil my day by saying things like that? If you have any other business needs, don't forget to stop by. Alright, Rolling Studios bracers, if you have any other business needs, don't forget to stop by. The orbits we see today are built using the structure of a clock. Therefore, even old technicians such as myself can tinker with some of their parts. When it comes to these quartz circuits, however, I'm a bit out of my league. I don't know who invented these things, but they're extremely complicated little machines. Good afternoon. Hey there, Estelle and Joshua. So how'd your training go? The number on your chest means I shouldn't have expected anything less from Cassie as a kid. But we'll celebrate you the training. I see, but well, I knew you were going to have to give up your part-time job here sooner or later. Yes, I'm real sorry about that. Don't sweat it. I knew it would happen eventually when I hired you on. It's a shame though, there's hardly anyone out there with as good an eye for weapons as you. But that's the path you've chosen, so get out there and show us what you're made of. Joshua, I'm sad to see you go, but I knew this was going to happen someday, so there's no use crying over it. Hello there, Stella and Joshua. Stella, listen to this. I finally became a bracer. My goodness, is that true? And Joshua too? Yes, ma'am, that's right. Congratulations to both of you. You did wonderfully. But one thing is though, you shouldn't be proud just because you became a bracer. This is just a starting point. I can understand that. The two of you will experience a lot of new things with braces, and I hope that I can be proud of the fact that this is the path you chose in the coming years. But enough about my feelings. Please work hard and good luck. The two of you will experience a lot of new things with braces, and I hope that I can be proud of the fact that this is the path you chose in the coming years. So, aren't you forgetting something? Dad asked to pick up a copy of the local news from a general goods store, right? Oh, I completely slipped my mind. So, you seem to be rather cheerful today. Did something wonderful happen in your life? Yes, I guess you could say that. Joyous occasions are indeed such a wonderful thing, but it's at times when things go well that we should gird up our loins for the trials that lie ahead. O Goddess Lady of Simple Firm and Flint, please guide these sons to your peace. I'm a newly assigned sister to the chapel. I was recently transferred from the royal city to Rowan. This place is surrounded by greenery, and everyone in town is so kind. I think I'm going to enjoy it today. Father Divine is a bit strict, but he is someone I can respect a lot. I was recently transferred from the royal city to Rowan. This place is surrounded by greenery. The missus sometimes helps me with my jobs around the house. On top of that, she treats me like I'm a part of the family. She even took me out to eat the other day. I couldn't be happier. The missus treats me like I'm a part of the family. I couldn't be happier. Lena takes care of all the housework, but I feel a little awkward about it and often end up doing some of it myself. I'm sure it's because I used to do it all myself before coming to live at this house. It appears like I'm taking Lena's job away, so I'm wondering if I'm causing her any trouble. Lena takes care of all the housework, but compared to other cities, Rome is certainly rule with no distinct features. However, I love this city. There's just something warm and inviting about it. I want to build a city that gives importance to that house. We've got an unusual guest staying here at the moment. She appears to be a student from the Janus Royal Academy. I hear she's come to study about rolling. I finally arrived here in Rowan. I think the first thing we're going to do is have a look around. A beautiful sound as always. I love the toll of this tower bell. This bell does more than tell the time. It's also marking Rowan's history. This bell does more than tell the time. It's also marking Rowan's history. Luscious chocolate skin, captivating ruby eyes. Sure sounds quite the exotic beauty, wouldn't you say? She's got that fascinating charm that people in the world don't have. Helen's off in his own little world again. I've actually gone drinking with Charizard before. The strange thing is, I have absolutely no memory of that time. Maybe I should try and ask her out again? There's no cute girls on the flight this morning. I guess all I can do now is look forward to the flight this afternoon. I am proud of the work I do here. That's because I've always wanted to work on orbital engines ever since I can remember. And now I work in maintenance, but in the future my dream is to be involved in an airship design. Ooh, that's the big dream. There are 2 liners which travel to the 5 major cities, an eastward circling one and westward circling one. The westward circling one airliner travels from Grantsville to Welland, Bose, Berlin, and Zeiss in that order. The eastward circling airliner travels in the opposite direction from Grantsville to Zeiss, Rouen, Bose, and Roland in that order. But just to let you know, there are no routes connecting regions which are not next to one another. Any aircraft deviating from these site routes either belongs to the Royal Army, the Royal Family, or is flying in Liberal space legally. It's such a warm day today, isn't it? It looks like we'll be able to take a nice afternoon nap. Yeah. Let's see, I've made contact with some people at the Malcolm Mine and we're working out a few business details at the moment. But please just wait just a little longer. Seems like somehow I'll be able to get the lumber I want. Simon, our septium purchases are going to go through fine, right? Since I spare no effort in coming all the way to Welland, failure is not an option. Really? You're completely finished with your training? Yay, we finally finished, Alyssa! I'm officially a real bracer. Well, congratulations, Estelle. You've always wanted to be a bracer ever since you were a kid, haven't you, Estelle? But don't bracers have a lot of dangerous jobs? Yeah, something like that. Joshua, Estelle, don't overdo it and watch out for each other. Estelle has this tendency to get in over her head. It's a very good observation, Alyssa. The only problem is that Estelle doesn't realize this herself. I'm standing right here, you guys. Joshua and I just care about you, Estelle, that's all. Anyway, don't get too full of yourself and end up getting hurt, okay? Okay. Joshua, Estelle, don't overdo it and watch out for each other. Estelle has this tendency to get in over her head. I'd better get back to the mine before the boss figures out I did short. It looks like that female merchant over there came to the boat. Not only does she seem smart, she's extremely attractive as well. And again, she'd probably never give me the time of day. Her accent's a little different, though. The female merchant not only seems smart, but she's extremely attractive as well. Her accent's a little different, though. My son-in-law still half a man when it comes to this. This isn't an easy job, and it takes a good 2 to 3 years to become a real woodsman. Shit! My son-in-law is still half a man when it comes to this business. In my opinion, there are 2 kinds of enjoyment that come from food. Put bluntly, they are eating and cooking. But I think my passion for cooking outweighs the other. Of course, I enjoy eating delicious food as well. The joy of eating and the joy of cooking. But I think my passion for cooking outweighs the other. Okay, that's that. Let's talk to Claire. Hey, Estelle and Joshua, is it true that you really became racist? You're always one of the first to hear everything, aren't you, Claire? This is just what I expected. I saw the potential in you both way back. Yep. You're going to get out there and earn a lot of success, right? I like Charizard's adult charm, but I'm partial to both you and Joshua. I'll take that as a compliment. The drama's finally going to begin. I'm so excited. She has foresight like hell. Just when I thought we could come home, he took off out the door again. I told the boy that dinner was almost ready. That boy's always running around like his pants on fire. He just can't sit still for 2 minutes. That's why I thought the kid come home. He took off out the door again. My son Pat has been gone since this morning. I hope he's not getting into any trouble with food. I'm worried about what he's up to. In any case, what was my husband doing in his room without giving any attention to his own son? Oh, idiots, our family is in danger of falling apart. Thanks to airliners, in recent days, even Roland has been able to get a good selection of books. Thanks to that, I find myself compelled to buy a new one each time I head to the store. But I get yelled at by my wife for getting so many, so maybe I should cut back a bit. I've only got the first chapter of this novel, so if you want, I'll give it to you. Receive Cornelia, Chapter 1. I just can't find the book I'm looking for. And that is the introduction to another collectible. Books! Chapter 1, The Imperial Chronicle. I stood there, upright in front of the revolving door, scuffing the heels of my boots against the ground. Pulling slightly on the collar of my trench coat, I dropped my chin and gazed at my partial reflection in the curved glass. Aside from my short-cropped hair, I wore a modest-looking double-breasted leather raincoat and a pair of special-order steel-reinforced boots, both of which at first glance appear to be the most common of common apparel. Yet they were in fact much more than the naked eye could detect. My ordinary average appearance. It was of just as much importance today as it had been on any other day in times past. Not far off, the sound of footfalls echoed rhythmically like the steady beat of a pendulum swinging back and forth as the throngs of those coming and going moved quickly along the cobblestone avenue, enveloped in tinged silver by the morning mist. At times, the calling voice of a street teller disrupted the steady flow, but as soon as the hawking cry faded away, it would resume its course. Each morning that I found myself setting foot in the Imperial City, I also found my surroundings to be unchanged and stained by the same somber tone of gray. Snatching up a magazine from the underarm of a street vendor, I tossed a view mirror into the left hand placed expectantly behind his back. The Imperial Chronicle, the magazine I read so often that even the ink bleeds was familiar. Roughly ripping open its cover, I scanned the headlines along the top of its monochrome pages. Then, suddenly my breath caught on my throat. At the very bottom of the local news page, I found those letters, that sequence of characters, which I had not heard nor seen since the time of that life-changing incident. My eyes instantly gravitated to the spot and for the time remained fixated. Einstellment. The very meaning of those letters became lost to my senses as I stood motionless, my gaze fixed on the same line of text until it all seemed to coalesce into a single blotch of ink. After a few seconds of blank comprehension, my vision settled and I wrenched my eyes to the beginning of the article. As I began to read, my memories verged on a single point in my past, and then slowly started to run in reverse, heading for that fateful event 3 years prior and when this name was first introduced to me. It was on an afternoon all those years ago, on a day not unlike this one, where the capital was overshadowed by a typical gloomy aurora. I was a little younger than now, a 22-year-old boy who stood silently in front of the boutique door as usual, double-checking its appearance before lightly treading over to Mick's Imperial factory. It was on this day that had been arranged for me to receive a new job from Mick, the shop owner himself. Although he was a dry middle-aged man, being the Orban enthusiast I was, I found myself as one of his few regular customers. I headed down the dank alleyway, and after passing through a partially rotted wooden gate, I could see the soft glow of the flickering oval light just outside the entrance of the factory, whose structure was halfway below street level. I first began receiving jobs from Mick about the time when dissension began to occur in society over the 100 Days' War. It was during this period that relations between the liberal kingdom and the empire were at their worst, and the importation of armaments had become almost non-existent. Conspiring with underground elements and planning a smuggling operation, Mick made me out to be his accomplice in crime, but the job which I received by his hand was none other than that of the courier. Being nothing more than a commoner in my teens at the time, I met him and a Jewy devoid of any connection in life besides. I naturally jumped at the opportunity without a moment's hesitation. Yet, even after relations with Liberal had returned to some degree of normalcy, I realized I was in no mood to give up my specialty, which focused mainly on the delivery of stolen goods. The reason being, there was no job out there which could bring in the kind of mirror this one did. It's an unrefined and inconspicuous appearance I had countless times before, hidden items of various sorts in my hands and trousers, and made my way hither and thither between the borders of these neighboring nations. And though to my delight my wallet had become increasingly laden with the bounty of monetary rewards, I routinely changed my alias as a precautionary measure. So much, in fact, that these false names had built up quite a list over the last few years. I've been known as Phil the Frivolous, Looney the Trickster, even Chris the Coward. However, Meg had always called me by one name, Toby. This was the identity I'd use for my next job and the one I liked above all the others. I confessed to her several times this morning, but I can't get her to accept my love. It doesn't seem like she hates me or anything. What am I doing wrong? I'm so distressed. He's my type and I'd like to accept his proposal. But this place is not my ideal situation. Is the place or whatever really that important? Of course it is! This could be the memory of a lifetime. Maybe the place that comes to my mind when I'm an old grandma and lying on my deathbed. I just can't accept an alleyway like this as being that place. I guess this is the type of thing that can only I guess this type of thing can only be understood by those involved. He has passionately confessed his love to me several times, but the situation is right. It'd be great if he'd just say it to me in a bit more romantic place. I love my daddy so much. He's so strong and he's always nice to me. I've already started dinner for the night. I'm making plenty, so hopefully my husband will be coming home today. Staying over the night in the mine and working through the night is pretty common for him. It's almost time for my husband to come home from work. I better get to work on preparing dinner. Uni should be getting back any time now, but that's odd of her not to be home by now. It's still Joshua. If you see my Uni, did you tell her to come home? She's never broken curfew before, but I'm worried because she's still just a little girl. That reminds me, it seems like she's always hanging out with Luke, but she really doesn't have to play around with those boys all the time. Huh? Oh, it's nothing. I was just thinking out loud. Actually, where is he? It seems like it's going to take a bit longer for me to get the lumber together for the sword. I must work hard to get my father-in-law to acknowledge me, for my wife's sake. We'll talk to you in a moment, Mr. Renon. I'm so glad that Renon's store has finally got on track. It seems as though it's become much easier to get products since we started having them brought in by airliner. Ever since the first orbits were invented, this world has become a much easier place to live in. Hey there, Soul Joshua. How can I help you? Did you manage to become bracelets? You bet we did! Maybe I should have you start calling me Hyper Bracelet Stealth from now on. By the way, Mr. Renon, did the liberal news come in? Yeah, it came in a little afternoon. Don't brush me off like that, you two. Oh, whatever, I'll take one copy then. That comes to 100 lira, please. Purchase Liberal News issue 1. I know my dad always buys a copy of this magazine, but does it really sell that well? It sure does. The Liberal News has an excellent reporter and cameraman who have done a great job reporting the latest and most reliable news. They're even supposed to have a running story related to Queen Alicia's birthday celebration. One more thing before you go. This gift is my way of saying congratulations. It's a free sample item I received with my shipment of goods, but they'll hold the free part against me. See, recipe book. What's that supposed to be for? There's a ton of blank pages. It's a recipe book, isn't it? You got it when you get hurt fighting. If you just tell me to soak the healing bombs all the time, it's going to cut pretty deep into your wallet. This is where a recipe book comes into play. If you eat food to recover your strength instead, it's basically free. Assuming you have all the ingredients anyway. So if you eat on you, write down what's on it and you'll have lots of recipes in no time. So how about we try this out? Go ahead and eat this cookie itself. Receive maple cookies. Well, I've made it a personal rule to never turn down food. Eat maple cookie. Learn maple cookie recipe. Basically, all you have to do is eat the food to learn the recipe. It's as simple as that. As you're traveling about, you should eat whatever food you come across that you haven't had an opportunity to try before. Well, that sounds pretty convenient. It's not that I don't like cooking and all, it's just that I never seem to get any better. I'd sure love to be able to increase my repertoire and really shock my dad's taste buds for once in my life. That's the spirit, and in passing, if you're in need of any ingredients, I'd be delighted to service your cooking. You really know how to solicit your customers, Mr. Renon. Thank you for the recipe book. We'll put it to good use. Yeah, it'll tell us how to get rescued. By the way, Miss Arena, how did you know that today was our last day of training? In a certain sense, both you and Joshua are like celebrities here in Rowan. I tend to hear a lot from customers coming through here. I shouldn't have expected anything less from Rowan. The grapevine around here is seriously starting to be reckoned with. No kidding, the women here especially love to gossip. Congratulations on passing the breaker exam. And in following with this joyous occasion, how about you buy some too? I'll even give you a discount. He does it. Everything costs the same. And now that we got a recipe book, we can come back over here to Abbott Bar. And buy recipe. And we'll buy the Carmine Eye in a little bit. And this is our recipe book. And now we're gonna leave town. So, Joshua, am I glad I found you two? Oh, hi, Aina. Is something wrong? You seem to be in quite a hurry. We've got a bit of a problem. Is your father at home today? Yes, he is. He said something about having to sort out a bunch of documents. But what's going on? You know Luke and Pat, right? Sure we do. In fact, we saw them not long ago. What's wrong? Are they in some sort of trouble? I don't know how to say this, but I just heard from Uni that Luke and Pat went out to the tower that lies on the northern outskirts of Rowan. You mean the tower for Esmelas? Isn't that place supposed to be a breeding ground for monsters? That's what they say. Unfortunately, at the moment, Sheriff's already filed other breaking business. So I want you to ask your father to bring the boys home safely. What are you talking about? There's no time for that. Joshua and I will go after them and bring them back. I don't know if that's such a good idea. The two of you only just qualified to be junior bracers today. With all due respect, I believe that self-judgment English. I believe that self-judgment is correct in this situation. If the two of us hurry, we may even be able to catch up with the boys before they reach the tower. I understand. I will take responsibility for whatever happens. As an emergency request from the Bracer Guild, I ask that you lose no time in bringing about the safe return of these children. Roger that. Understood. The Esmelas Tower can be reached by taking the western path at the junction along the Mount Good Trail. You can get out of the Mount Good Trail from the Roland's northwest gate. I'll be on standby at the guild, so if we're in any trouble, you know where to find me. This is our first real job. Come on, Joshua, we don't have any time to lose. I'm right behind you. I wonder if Luke and Pat are alright. I tried my best to stop them. Still, Joshua, please bring them back safely. I'm counting on you to bring those boys back safely. The Esmelas Tower is at the west end of the Malga Trail. The Malga Trail is through the gate in town. And we'll do that next time. Next time on Trails in the Sky, we pursue Luke and Pat. I will see you all then.